The rebels are alerted to our presence. Admiral Ozzel came out of light speed too close to the system.
He felt surprised, was
He
wiser.
is as clumsy as he is stupid.
There's been a lot of buzz lately about a possible prequel series in the works called Lord Vader, a Star Wars story, and the rumors kind of add up. Ever since Disney took over, they've handled Vader really well, and every time he's shown up in the Disney Plus Star Wars shows, fans have absolutely loved it. According to the rumors, the show would be inspired by Dark Lord: The Rise of Darth Vader, a Legends-era novel written by James Luceno and released back in 2005. The story is set right after Revenge of the Sith and follows Vader in the early days of the Galactic Empire, focusing on his transformation and rise to power as the Emperor's enforcer. Dark Lord: The Rise of Darth Vader kicks off in the final moments of the Clone Wars, right before Order 66 goes down in Revenge of the Sith. When a group of clone troopers on Murkana refuses to turn on Jedi Masters Roan Shrine and Bol Chatic, along with Padawan Oli Sarstone, Palpatine sends Darth Vader to look into it. What starts as a simple investigation quickly turns into a full-on Jedi hunt, taking Vader from Coruscant to Alderaan and even Kashyyyk. Along the way, the story also fills in what's happening with familiar Revenge of the Sith characters like Bail Organa, Leia, R2-D2, C-3PO, and Chewbacca, and it shows the early stages of Vader's working relationship with Grand Moff Tarkin. A big part of the book focuses on Vader's inner struggle as he tries to bury Anakin Skywalker and relearn how to use the Force as a Sith. Palpatine uses these early missions not just to tighten the Empire's grip on the galaxy, but also to teach Vader what it truly means to be Darth Vader. The final chapters show the early days of the Empire enslaving the Wookiees on Kashyyyk, with Chewbacca playing a part in those events. In the epilogue, we catch up with Obi-Wan Kenobi on Tatooine as he learns that Vader is still alive. Worried about the safety of baby Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan reaches out to the spirit of his old master Qui-Gon Jinn. Qui-Gon reassures him that Luke will learn the truth about his father when the time is right and that he'll eventually face him. He also reveals that Vader will never return to Tatooine since it's part of his past he wants to erase completely. The book also makes it clear that as far as the galaxy is concerned, Anakin Skywalker died during the attack on the Jedi Temple, ironically the very assault he carried out as Darth Vader. I'd honestly love to see Disney take a crack at this as a full-on series and see how they handle telling a villain story on screen. It's no secret that Star Wars has some of the greatest villains of all time, but let's be real. Some of the deepest and most layered dark side stories haven't actually come from the movies or shows. A lot of that heavy lifting has been done in Marvel's canon comics, especially series like Legacy of Vader, which have delivered some of the most immersive and thoughtful takes on the dark side and its most compelling characters. Marvel in particular has built a strong track record when it comes to exploring Sith and dark side themes. Case in point, Legacy of Vader had done absolute wonders for Kylo Ren, adding depth, context, and emotional weight that really elevates his character beyond what we saw on screen. Launched in February 2025, Star Wars Legacy of Vader follows Kylo Ren as he steps into his new role as the First Order Supreme Leader, all while digging deeper into his grandfather's legacy between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. Written by Charles Soule with art by Luke Ross, the series has already delivered a powerful story showing Kylo Ben Solo caught in a constant push and pull between the light and dark sides of the Force, and just how deeply Vader's past has twisted his sense of self. Throughout the series, Kylo's journey takes him to Mustafar, Tatooine, and even Naboo, literally retracing Vader's footsteps. Guided by Vader's still-living castle caretaker, Vanee, Kylo is haunted at every turn by his grandfather's shadow. Rather than simply copying Vader, Ren is determined to build his own dark side legacy. Legacy of Vader isn't a one-off success for Marvel either. It's just the latest in a long line of standout canon villain-led stories that began with Kieran Gillen's 2015 Darth Vader run. Set between A New Hope and The Empire Strikes Back, that series famously revealed the moment Vader learned he had a son, the same pilot who destroyed the Death Star, and showcased his earliest attempts to betray Palpatine. Then came the 2017-2018 Darth Vader series by Charles Soule and Giuseppe Camuncoli, which dropped readers right into Anakin's painful transformation into Vader. It explored his first true steps into darkness, the forging of his Sith lightsaber, the creation of his fortress, and even his failed attempt to bring Padmé back from the dead. More than rage, the series leaned into Vader's crushing regret, showing a man who believed the dark side was the only path left to him. After that, we got The Rise of Kylo Ren in 2019, also written by Soule, which followed a young Ben Solo's slow, tragic fall before The Force Awakens. It honestly did a better job explaining Kylo's emotional breakdown than the sequel films themselves, showing how he was manipulated, isolated from his uncle, and ultimately pushed straight into Snoke's grasp, Palpatine's stand-in. Then came Greg Pak's Darth Vader series in 2020, which explored Vader's story between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. It dives into how Vader deals with his son rejecting him, his search for the truth about Padmé's death and Luke's birth, Palpatine brutally punishing him for his defiance on Mustafar, and even Vader uncovering the true scale of his master's power on Exegol. We also see the final time Vader tries, and fails, to overthrow Palpatine before fully submitting, at least until his son eventually brings him back to the light. All of these are just a few standout examples of Marvel's dark side-focused, villain-led series. They expand the Star Wars universe far beyond what we've seen on screen, adding layers of depth and emotion, so if you've been sleeping on these comics, you're seriously missing out. What's really exciting is that we've got the animated series Star Wars Maul Shadow Lord coming in 2026, and it's a pretty big deal for Lucasfilm. It'll be the first animated Star Wars project led entirely by a straight-up villain, which feels like a huge step in the right direction. If it lands, it could be the start of Star Wars finally leaning harder into darker, villain-focused stories on screen. Marvel Star Wars comics have already proven that fans are more than willing to invest in darker, more sinister narratives, as long as they're handled with care and real depth. If Lucasfilm takes a page from Marvel's playbook, the blueprint is right there. Turn the camera inward. The most compelling dark side stories aren't just about power, they're about broken people wrestling with their own ghosts, regrets, and trauma. That's what made characters like Darth Vader, Kylo Ren, and even Maul so fascinating in the first place. Nail that emotional core, and you've got the audience hooked. After that, the rest is easy. Just layer in some brutal displays of power and a few unforgettable lightsaber sequences. If you ask me, there are still so many stories left to tell, especially when it comes to the Sith. The Acolyte, for example, could have finally given us the story of Darth Plagueis the Wise, if a bunch of loud voices hadn't launched a hate campaign against what was honestly a pretty enjoyable show. Then there's Ajunta Pall, the very first Sith Lord. Right now, he's still a Legends character and not officially canon, but just imagine how incredible it would be to see Star Wars explore the first Jedi ever to fall to the dark side, at a time when the dark side wasn't even understood yet. That's not just another origin story, that's a moment that reshaped the entire history of the galaxy. That's the kind of story I want to see. Realistically though, Disney would probably greenlight a Vader series first, and while that would be cool, I really hope the future of Star Wars doesn't turn into nothing but fan service, especially when a large chunk of the fan base doesn't even want that. Do you think Star Wars should lean harder into dark side, villain-led stories? And if Disney does move forward with Lord Vader: A Star Wars Story, would you want it to closely adapt Dark Lord: The Rise of Darth Vader, or should they take a completely new approach? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's talk about it. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next Star Wars update. I'll see you in the next one.